Welcome to the Los Angeles, Italia show. We are very happy. Tomorrow is starting the 17th annual Los Angeles, Italia Film, Fashion and Art Festival with an incredible number of movies, 150 movies to be seen either at the Chinese Theater from 2 p.m. local time in Hollywood or on the platforms eventive.org in the States and mymovies.it. Well, it's an incredible 150 movies are being selected to be shown, and it's a record for the real event worldwide, the most popular Italian event worldwide since 2006. And I'm very happy to have with me today to talk about it one of the person who actually saw this festival starting, because that time he was working on his movie and he won an Oscar immediately after, and he became a part of the family after immediately that night when we met at the Vanity Fair party. I'm very happy to have back with me Maestro Paul Haggis. So welcome back to Los Angeles, Italia, Paul.
Thank you. It's been a long journey since then for you, and an incredible one. 150 movies this year, Pascal. That's incredible. Congratulations. It's what you've been achieving is remarkable. Congratulations.
Yes, it's an incredible job done by a commission that is chaired by Gianluca Castagna, and of course Antonella Cocco is the artistic director who manage all these screenings between the Chinese theater and the platforms. And let me tell you something. It's very cool that we can show a lot of the Italian movies, also created by young filmmakers, because today having the possibility to work with digital, there is not any more barrier in order to start your career.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that's always been such a tragedy with the sort of the best foreign language film category, is that every country has to choose one filmmaker and one film, and then all those compete. And there are so many great films in every country, especially in Italy. The younger filmmakers, but even the more experienced filmmakers. Sergio Rubini did a beautiful film last year that I didn't get to see until I was at your festival, and there are so many younger filmmakers like that, and so it's wonderful that you're able to. I keep using the word wonderful, but it is true. It's great for us to be able to see these movies that we wouldn't get a chance to see otherwise. It's a great gift.
Yes, absolutely. The De Filippo brothers,
Yes.
directed by Sergio Rubini, is a part of the festival, the Los Angeles Italia Festival, the exclusive American premiere of this movie.
Highly recommended. It is such a beautiful film. And as soon as you introduced me to Sergio and his producers, to Agostino, and that, I really wanted to see the movie. And when I did, when it had subtitles, I was so moved by this true story, and it's so beautifully shot, so beautifully told.
Agostino, yes, the producer, Agostino Sacca, who's actually,
Yes.
you are talking to make something good.
Yes.
Well, cross
Yeah,
the
we're
fingers.
talking about that.
Cross the fingers. So, Paul, talking back about the 150 screenings, I suggest everybody who's interested, and from now suggest also to my people, Alberto, to put a few times, sometimes the title of the website, because check the program on losangelesitalia.com. You can definitely can see where you can watch the movies on digital.
And you're not going to see these movies anyplace else, because many of them don't get distribution. Many great films from around the world, but especially from Italy, don't get the distribution they deserve in America, and we don't get to see them. I mean, the Filippo brothers doesn't have distribution. It's a crime. It's an incredible movie, beautifully shot, beautifully realized, beautifully written and directed and acted, and no one gets to see it except for on your platform right now. So I highly recommend it.
It will be live at the Chinese Theater, and I hope that after the screening we'll get a distributor. Actually, I'm gonna work for
I
making it happen. And
I hope so.
we
It's
all
a
should
great film.
recommend to the American distributor to look for this movie. And also,
Yes,
I mean, another amazing movie is the one by Mario Martone, The King Laughter,
I love Mario.
starring
He's a-
starring your friend Tony Servillo, who's
Yes,
actually also starring in the Paolo Sorrentino movie The End of God. Now,
that
will God?
it's the law in Italy that Tony has to be in every Italian movie because he's so fucking good. Yes.
Now, I was asking you with a joke: is The End of God helping Paolo Sorrentino to get close to the Oscar?
We hope so. Paolo is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. He is such a genius. So, we'll keep our fingers crossed this week.
So, considering you are a great expert of cinema international, what makes for you Paolo Sorrentino a real maestro?
I think it's his ability to capture something very personal and yet universal, and you see that over and over. His stories are so specifically his, and yet by doing that, by being so specifically his, it somehow becomes universal and becomes emotional. And they're all different, but they're all that, and that's what always impresses me with his movies, and that's what I look for in a great film: something that is unique, is personal, and that speaks to us all.
Great. So the big competition this year. I mean, as far as they open the academy to the international audience, to the international artists. We
Yes.
get to see even better and better movies. Big
Yeah.
competition, no?
Yes.
For
Yes, and that's
Sorrentino.
a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing, I think, because too long it's almost xenophobic, the American cinema, and now you've seen it opening in the last few years in wonderful ways, and it's great to see. It's about time.
Paul, however, it seems that the only movie to get a lot of results at the box office are the superheroes, and there is also some complaint by maestros such as Martin Scorsese, not only that the studios are just paying attention to finance a movie who makes a lot of money, despite to the smaller and more constructive movies.
Yeah, it is a real problem. It's a cyclical problem. I mean, when Martin Scorsese was first making his films, it was the exact same problem. Only the big budget movies were getting the theaters. And then he came along, and his entire generation of young filmmakers, and changed all that. And then those pictures became big box office. But you look at his early films; they were just so different. They threatened the status quo, and yet somehow the studios figured out, oh, these make money, and then they did. I think cinema, we have to keep shaking it up like he did originally, like in that period, and others have done since. Hollywood hates to be shaken up, but boy, whenever it is, it really benefits from it.
I see. So, what is your favorite movie this year for the Oscar?
I can't say because I'm a voting member of the Academy, so I
Okay,
cannot
so
tell you.
what is the movies that you? I mean, do you? Okay, let's put it another
No,
way.
not going to do it. Not
There
going to
is
do it.
any movie that was not chosen to be considered among the five that you would have loved to watch nominated?
I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'm sure there is. I can't think of one. Pascal, can you?
Okay, I make the question in another way. Why a Bond movie cannot
Ah,
ever be nominated for an Oscar?
I
Okay,
mean, it's why action and comedies have a very hard time getting nominated. And some of our best movies over the years have been comedies. You look at some of my favorite films of all time are the screwball comedies of Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell and Katharine Hepburn, and none of those got nominated. It is so comedies, action movies have a very hard time. People don't think they're serious. And you have to go back to Preston Sturges and Sullivan's Travels about a filmmaker who decides to make a serious film and go on the road and learn how to be a serious filmmaker, only to realize that the silly comedies that he make are the ones that are the most important. It's the same thing with action movies. I think there's always been this preference in Hollywood for dramas, and that's what happens. This serious dramas. I disagree with it. But who decides to make a serious?
Paul, you've been spending a lot of time in Italy recently, no?
Yes.
I heard that you also shot a little movie in Puglia.
I did a
and
couple
you're
weeks
going to
ago.
be organizing a festival with our friend Sol in Puglia.
I'm helping Sol Costola Stalton and my friend Silvia Bizio with their festival there in Puglia, which of course you are a great inspiration and great friend in doing so. So hopefully we can be sister organizations, sister festivals with you, because you inspire us to do something. When they asked me to help consult on this, I said, well, there's one festival that I love, and there's only one. And there are many great festivals in the world, but the only one I try to go to every year is the Ischia Global, because Pascal's done something. And I'm not saying it because you're here, I'm blowing smoke up your ass, but you were able to do something that made it so intimate and yet so beautiful. You were able to invite people, or people that I would love to meet and have a conversation with, and give us the time to sit around and talk. It's been such a gift over the years. So I said, well, if we could do something like that, if we could aspire to something like that, then we'd be doing something great. But because you've been able to do something, and without the support you needed, and and you just keep going, and COVID almost killed you, and you kept going, it's remarkable, and you keep doing it every year, and you keep creating something that is very personal. It's like Apollo's thing. It's a very personal festival, and yet it's universal. It's exactly as I just described Sorrentino's movies. You are the equivalent. Your festival is the equivalent of a Sorrentino movie. Yes.
So, Paul, but what is going to be like this festival in Puglia? Tell us more.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. It's very small, very intimate. We'll see. The last week of June. We haven't announced it. Alora Fest, where it's mostly socially relevant films that are socially relevant, and we're honoring people who do great work. We're having actors and others come not to be honored themselves, but to honor others who are doing real work in peace and justice. Because there are so many heroes being created right now. People stepping up, doing amazing things in the Ukraine and elsewhere. People are rescuing refugees at sea and helping with the environment, and so we're asking actors to come and help honor those people. So that's the message. And then Sylvia is finding us some wonderful films, and it's it's 5 days, but hopefully we'll get some good people, and we'll hopefully be able to, inspired by you, relax, have people can relax and enjoy themselves, and come back. And that was your whole thing, is that you never had to do publicity, because people would go back to Hollywood and say, oh my God, have you heard of the Ischia Film Festival? And they go, no, what is that? Ischia Global, what the hell is that? Oh, you have to go. It's the most amazing thing. It's like when I first heard about it, I remember go back and someone told me, if you ever get invited to the Ischia Global Film Festival, just say yes. And I went, Ischia, what the hell is that? And then you met me on the red carpet and said, would you like to come to the Ischia Global Film Festival? And I said, yes. And I've been the best I've ever had. I've just had 15 years. I've tried never to miss it.
Thank you so much, really. So, we are celebrating Los Angeles Italia Festival.
Which is another great one. When I lived in Los Angeles, I met great friends there. Again, the same thing. I go to your festival and I'd meet so many interesting people. And see such terrific films. That's what I love about what you put together. You put together really interesting people. You're able to curate interesting people that you want to talk to and exchange ideas with, and people you admire in a very intimate setting, and then see great films. It's remarkable.
Thank you so much. But what does makes sense for you the idea of creating a bridge in between Italy and America, cinematography side?
Well, I mean, Italian and French cinema is what inspired me to make movies, and that's I mean from the neorealists and through the great films of the '60s and '70s and then on. So you keep Italy keeps making these every generation or so. You come back with remarkable filmmakers, and you are taking the best of Hollywood. That as France does it as well, but I happen to think Italy does it better. You're taking the best lessons from Hollywood and then making incredibly personal films with it, and you see Italian filmmakers do that. So that exchange, I think, is something that we really benefit from in America. Seeing great entertainment with just a little bit different point of view, and the Italians do it really well.
So, Paul, now maybe, I don't know if I ever introduced you, but you definitely know her as a great actress. She's wonderful, Italian, not Italian American. She's a real Italian from Basilicata, and she moved to Hollywood in order to become a international star. And Sofia Milos made it because of her skill, her capability, her, I mean, tenacia. Come si dice tenacia? Grinta?
I
Come si
know,
dice?
Sophia. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Paul. I know I'm like
How
on
are
my
you?
walk, but you know, Pascal is always going to convince us to come on. Si dice persistence.
You've been, I thought it was a bad word, persistence. So you look very Los Angelina. Where
It
are you
does, doesn't
now?
it?
I'm in Beverly Hills taking a power walk. I took a break.
Great. So are you getting in good shape for tomorrow night? Tomorrow you're gonna be
Of,
for the first time in your life the president of the festival. I thought it was a good recognition after you've been with us 16 years, since 2006 when we started, and now you are becoming for the first time a top executive of the event. When we thought about somebody that could step on stage with great personality, we definitely, so this is the time that Sofia has to show up.
Sophia is wonderful
I'm
for that.
honored.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's been wonderful, and we missed you last year. We're going to miss you again this year, but I know you're going to join us with a video. I was listening in before 150 movies this year. How fantastic! For me, it's always an incredible joy because I get to see movies I otherwise don't get to see. Um, get it's a beautiful way of introducing that you've done so beautifully, to introducing Italian cinema here and bring it back the way it really deserves to be. And sometimes because of the budgets, because of, like Paul said, distribution, it doesn't get here, and we love to see it. I love to have it. It brings our Italian heart to Hollywood.
I see there is very windy outside in Los Angeles now, in Beverly Hills, eh?
Yes, it's a little chilly.
So, but it's a good
Nice and warm
temperature.
in New York, Sophia. Come to New York. It's nice and warm.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, yeah, it's lovely. Just outside like this in my t-shirt. Yeah.
So
I
I
will be in
want.
New York shooting May. In May, I will be
Oh,
shooting
what are
in New
you
York.
shooting? What are you shooting? What are you shooting?
I'm recurring on this show called Gravesend with a lot of Sopranos co-stars that I had: Armando Sante, Mario Cantone from Sex and the City, Andrew Dice Clay, Fran Drescher, Chaz Palmitieri. His daughter plays my daughter. So it's fun. It's a beautiful group. I already started doing 3-4 episodes and going back for more. The first week of May, I'll be there.
So, guys, I want to ask you now a very, very serious issue. So, of course, we are people working in show business, and we are here to speak about Los Angeles, Italia, which starts tomorrow and ends the night before the Oscar. But of course, we cannot ignore that there is a terrible war in Europe. So how is the feeling? Paul is in New York. Sofia now is in Los Angeles. So how is your feeling? I can imagine broken, but what is the situation like? How does the American people understand how difficult is this moment for Europe and for
It's
especially for
it's not
Ukraine?
it's not comprehensible. It's tragic to witness what's happening there every day. I never thought it would actually go this far. And to see war crimes and see women and children being babies being separated from their mothers, it's appalling. It's unimaginable to see these people who have lost their loved ones, their homes, their lives that they knew, living in uncertainty and fear. My heart really goes out to them. I want this to stop immediately.
Paul,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incomprehensible. Sophia said it right. It is, I wake up every morning and that's what I do. I look at the news, I listen to what's going on. It is, when I was even I was shooting our little film in Italy when we did a little rap party, which we just sat around and we toasted the people of the Ukraine and the children who were going to bed that night, terrified and listening to bombs fall. It is. I've been in situations never as bad as that. I've been in some bad ones and been around people who have been, and it's the kids. It's the kids. It's hard. It's hard to explain what's happening. You see it. You understand on some level that it's this geopolitical game that's being played by monsters, but who don't care. We don't care about the suffering of others. It is at the same time we have to be very careful because this is heinous and horrible, but it is not the first time a country has invaded another country without no reason at all. We did it in Iraq. So it's very hard for us. I wish America had cleaner hands, and so we could point to these people and say this is heinous, and we would never do the same. We did the same, just not 20 years ago under ridiculous circumstances. Now, that doesn't mean this isn't awful. This is terrible, and I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm just saying war should always be the last result of the last resort rather, and it's not apparently. Apparently, these days it's the first resort. Bullies and people like Putin who are. Who we've known for years is just a bully and a monster, and we just coddle him, and I don't know why.
And the
but
fact that he will, yes.
Sophia, when we watch television in this moment, we remember a few James Bond movies of the past that we could never imagine that would be as much as crazy as it is now.
I don't understand the question.
The question is, reality goes over the fantasy.
Oh, yeah. Isn't well, both are based on each other, right? Life imitates art, art imitates life. Which one comes first?
Exactly. So it's something tragic that we just watched on the movies and we never expect it to happen.
Yeah, you wish Bond villains could stay in the movies and not be actual people like Putin. Yeah,
Was
yeah.
crazy. No, we saw so many. Imagine like and of course the Cold War will never stop. Although they show up with this face smile thing, smiling face, I am very very curious to understand what will be the end of this war. At the end, they will sit down and with thousand people death and no,
Yes.
with no for no reason, for no reason.
And not just the dead, Pascal, the wounded, the mentally scarred, the terrified, the whole entire generation of children who are growing up right there and are suffering this terrible shock. I mean, seeing their parents die, I mean, it's just unthinkable, the psychological damage, and they just don't care. I mean, you see what they bombed the other day. They bombed a house. I mean,
Oh, the theater.
the theater, yeah, where they knew people were hiding, were trying to stay away, and they bombed it.
Yeah, and for the ones that care in Russia, they're being silenced and threatened to be imprisoned for 10 or 15 years, like this lady on the news did. It's just appalling that people can't even speak up. This is 2022.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's go
Like
back
Bernie
to the
Sanders, he said. Sorry,
let's
go
go
ahead.
back
That
to
we
the
have to
best
remember
part of
that
our.
the Russian. Sorry,
Sorry,
go
Paul.
ahead.
So what you were saying, Paul?
No, I just said it's very important what Sophia said, and what Bernie Sanders has said. We have to make sure that we keep a difference between the Russian government and the Russian people. They're very, very brave Russian people right now who are risking everything to demonstrate against this, risking imprisonments, which is just to speak out and or to hold up a sign on a news show. Those are, or the biologists who spoke up. There are very, very brave Russians out there speaking up. The Russian people are not the same as the Russian government. It's very important to remember that.
Okay, so let's go back to the cinema and let's remember that tomorrow is a beautiful day for Italy in Los Angeles because we opened the 17th annual Los Angeles Italia Film Fashion and Art Festival, chaired this year by the Italian-American actor Robert Davi and the wonderful Lucana actress Sofia Milos, who actually became very Los Angelina. You can recognize how cool she is in Beverly Hills so far, so I hope that I'm sure you're gonna make a great job. Maybe tomorrow in the morning, Sofia, we talk again. We talk more. We go more on details. What's gonna happen in at the Chinese theater, and Paul. I will ask you to join us more during this week when we
Please,
know more
I'd love
results.
to.
I want just you to say something about your friend and your actor Riccardo Scamarcio, who's actually is going to be honored tomorrow night in Los Angeles, as well as
I
Benedetta Porcaroli with an award presented by Intesa San Paolo, one of our special partners.
I would love to be there to honor Ricardo in person, because what people know him as a good actor and as a beautiful man, and and doing great work in drama. They don't know what a great comedian he is as well. And I was able to work with him doing a comedic role, and we just had the best time. He was so funny, and so people do not know him like that, and they should. He is such a multi-talented individual. So I wish I
You
could be
used
there.
him in the movie third person as a
Yes,
bartender.
yes, who thought he was Toti. Yes, exactly. Yes,
I remember I came at Testaccio to
you
shoot
did.
backstage, and he was dressing as a bartender with the Roma
Yeah,
soccer team
yeah, yes.
T-shirt.
He had bar Americano, and he hated all Americans. Exactly. Yes. Yes. So funny.
Okay, so
Anyway, so please give him my love. He's a wonderful actor and deserves this
Sophia will
recognition.
give him your love, and Sophia.
Oh,
So we
I
start
will do
tomorrow
so.
at 2 o'clock at the Chinese Los Angeles time, a Chinese theater with the special screening of Il Sorpasso by Dino Risi, starring the legendary, iconic Mattatore Vittorio Gassman, and then the premiere of a movie shot between Italy and America, Dakota, produced by our friend Andrea Iervolino. And then, of course, we have the opening ceremony, and to follow Riccardo Scamarcio movie, which is, I think, very, very beautiful, produced by Red Cinema. So you can double check all the time the program on losangelesitalia.com and follow us on the social media, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and whatever. So thank you so much to the
thank
Oscar
you.
winner, screenwriter and producer and wonderful friend Paul Haggis, and to the gorgeous and talented my dear sorella Sofia Milos. Ciao, see you
Ciao a
later.
tutti, ci vediamo domani. Bye, Paul.